Hi, welcome to GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'm going to do my initial unboxing and initial thoughts on my new camera, and that's the Panasonic Lumix GX7K. Not sure what the K means. I've ordered the silver version with just the standard kit lens because it was only £469 and I think I'll get £50 cash back, so it works at £419, which is I think a really good deal. The only reason I went for the little kit lens was because I'm going to use this with a couple of prime lenses, and when you're shooting video, the in-body optical stabilization does not work for video, so I needed a stabilized lens for video, so the little 14-42 kit lens is ideal for that. So anyway, here's the unboxing. Just get rid of that. As you'll see, it's a handsome beast. Even this little lens looks nice. I mean, it's only a cheapo thing and with a plastic mount, but it's okay. It's fine. You know, it will do. It will do okay. So there you go. Okay, so initial thoughts are really nice quality, typical sort of Panasonic layout, and that's one of the reasons why I've got this. So it matches the GH4 that I use, very similar controls and menu systems, etc. And I can set the colour profile and things like that the same as I do on my GH4, so that when I swap between these two cameras, I'm getting similar results. When I was using the OMD and the GH4, I was finding that I was forgetting what buttons did what and what dials did what and how I had the camera set up, which is why I've sold that and now gone for this. You've got this Tilty Evf, which is, you know, that's nothing new to me. On my GX1, the EVF that went on top flipped up, so that's nothing new to me. It's useful now and again. The image is really nice, it's a reasonable size, it's lovely and bright. You don't really get too much lag unless you're in one of the scene modes. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Image stabilization seems to work okay, and that's all automated. It's pretty much sorts itself out. If you put a lens on with stabilization in, it will use the lens. If you put a lens on, like a prime lens without, it will use the in-body. It does it all itself, so it works really good. Really nice screen on the back, lovely resolution and size, no problems with that. Got a flippy out screen, which is fairly useful. It doesn't fully articulate like the GH4 that I'm recording on, but that's fine. I'm going to just cover off two annoyances with this, and I'm going to have a bit of a rant about these two things because there's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason for it. And Panasonic are shits for doing this, and that's not putting a microphone input on this camera. Now, there's behind the little door, which you have to open the screen, and then there's a little door, you've got a remote socket. Now, why the hell do you need a remote socket for a camera that's got Wi-Fi? You can use it with Android, iOS devices. There's really no need, in my opinion, for a remote socket over and above a microphone socket. I mean, I'm sure there'd have been room for both, but if you're going to leave one out, you leave that out and put the microphone in, because there's other ways of doing that. There's no other way of getting sound into this without using the onboard microphones, which are generally crap, as we all know. So that really bugs me, and the only reason they've done that is to protect their flagship model, the GH4, but I think they've done themselves a disservice there, because rather than people looking at this going, oh, it hasn't got a microphone jack, I'll go for the GH4, they'll look at another brand. They won't. If they want this form factor, they're not going to go for the GH4. So I think that's a massive cock up. So that's that one. The second is stupid, is where they've put this strap connector. Now, the one on the left is moved forward and out of the way, but this one is right where your hand goes. Now, if the shutter button was here on the front, it would be fine, because naturally your finger would sit, your thumb sits on the back and your finger would sit there. That would be absolutely fine. Because it's on the top, your finger sits directly over this little thing. Now, without the strap on, it's bad enough because it digs into your hand. With the strap on, it's even worse because it's just in the way. It should have been either at the back or at the front, and then it would have cleared through your fingers there, or it would have been out of the way. It's just, what I think they've done is they originally perhaps planned maybe to have the shutter button on the front here, and then it got moved and they just forgot about that, or they don't. I just don't know. When they're giving these to people to test and do their research and development, I can't understand why that would have never been picked up. It's literally beyond me. But anyway, that's that. So that's the only two things, and that's not bad really. The rest of it, I love it. I love the looks, I love the styling, lovely heft and weight to it. The controls are simple. You've got a front dial, aluminium machined, which is really nice. There's a rear dial, which as the default does the same as the front dial. Like if you're in aperture priority, they both do aperture, but then if you press it, it's got exposure compensation. But you can change it. So I've got it changed to set exposure compensation on the dial on the back, and the front dial will do aperture when I'm in aperture priority, and then you similar things in shutter and etc. So that's really good. Got a lovely little manual focus, autofocus switch with your AF AE lock in the middle, which is really nice. You've got a little poppy-uppy flash, which is absolutely minuscule but tiny. I very rarely use it, but it's handy to have and nice to be inbuilt. Then you've got a function 4/LVF button, which means switching between the live view and the screen. You can have it automated, you can have it on a button, you can use the function 4 button for something else. That's really good. You've got a function 1, which is a Q menu. I just leave it as that. You've got a display button, your playback button. Then you've got your usual ISO, white balance, focusing and release modes. Then you've got a function 2 button, which I've set to HDR mode. And then you've got a Wi-Fi button, which I will change, but I'm going to change it to match my GH4, and I can't remember for the life of me at the moment what I have it set to. So I'll do that. Touch screen, touch to focus, all works really well. I'm used to that with the cameras I've had previously, the GX1, the Olympus OMD, the GH4, the GH3. So every camera should have that as far as I'm aware from now on. So really, really good. I haven't actually used it yet, so this is my initial review. I'm not expecting any issues with the photos. From what I gather, it's a similar sensor to the GH4. It's certainly the one on from the GH3 with the new Venus whatever 4 engine. So that's really good. Speed wise, I have it set to the like high speed shooting, but in the low to medium mode, which I think has full autofocus and shoots a steady pace. You can go faster, but then you lose autofocus, then you lose live view and things like that. But that mode is absolutely fine for what I need. Really good. The little lens, the 14-42 lens, it's a 3.5 to 5.6. Really, I'm only going to use it for video. Or if I'm outside and I want the wide angle, then yeah, I may use it, I may stick it on, but it's not a lens I really intend to use with this camera particularly. My intention is to use, well, originally it was just these two, which is the 45-1.8 Olympus, that's my favourite lens. The Sigma 90mm 2.8, that's a really good lens for virtually no money. These are both bargain lenses. And then because I've got the 12 to 35 2.8 and the 35 to 100 to 2.8, which are the two lenses I use on my GH4, it then leaves me this little baby, which is the 45-175. And because it's very lightweight and it's a great quality zoom lens, I've tried it on there and it fits beautifully. So that's going to be the kit. So it's going to be 4 lenses, which is unusual for me, but that pretty much covers everything I'll need, and these 2 lenses cover everything I need on the GH4. And then if I'm doing a specific job or I'm going out somewhere and I need to toss a little low light monster like this 45-1.8 into the bag, I can do that. So, you know, it works really well. I'm recording on the GH4 with the 20mm 1.7, and my partner's got a GH3 with a 14 to 140. So all our lenses now fit our cameras, and we can swap and chop and change, and pretty much got everything covered apart from a real super wide angle lens, which I may sort that out in the future. I'll just quickly show you the GX7 with a different lens on. Let's put my biggest lens on, which is the 35 to 100 2.8 Pro lens. And it doesn't really overwhelm it, to be honest. It still sort of feels quite nice, nicely balanced, nice to hold. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's the biggest one. I'm very rarely going to use that lens on this body, to be fair, but the one I'm really mostly going to use is this little one, which is the little 45-1.8 from Olympus. So it's equivalent to a 90mm 1.8. Absolutely gorgeous lens. The autofocus is let me just change my point. Focus is really good. I'm just going to focus here on this dying flower. And take a couple of shots. Yeah, so the autofocus is really quick. Seems fairly accurate. I haven't really got, apart from those two little gripes, which are just gripes. I mean, if this wasn't my backup camera, I wouldn't have bought it, because I need a camera with a microphone input, because it's the easiest way of doing these types of videos, and it's the best quality sound for the cheapest, most easy way. I mean, I've done it separate off-camera sound, but then you've got two files, and it's just hassle, to be honest. So I sort of made a decision. I want my sound in the camera, which is, I mean, if this had that in it, it would be pretty much the perfect camera, and I'd probably get a couple of these, as opposed to the GH4 as well, maybe. But yeah, you know. So there you go. That's my initial thoughts. I haven't taken any pictures apart from those ones I've just taken of that flower. I will obviously, after a little while, I'll do some more photos, and I'll add them to the. I'll do like a follow-up video, see how I'm getting on with the camera after my initial thoughts. Also, if you want to see any photos that I've taken, just search Flickr. Just go on, just type in search for GRVO TV, and I'll come up, and you can see full res JPEGs on there that I've taken using some of this equipment. So there you go, my initial review and thoughts on the Panasonic Lumix GX7. This has been GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'll see you soon. Bye.